So we have all hell breaking loose when it comes to the dollar. You have Treasury secretaries saying it's all going to go down. You have Peter Schiff. Okay, we already know what Peter's going to say on that one. Hold on. Cue the fire a second time. We have Bitcoin people saying Bitcoin's going to go to 10 million. That's what it says right on my screen. $10 million. Dollar collapses. Ron Paul is in the news. Dollar collapse. Every video on YouTube right now is the dollar collapse. And if you don't believe me, believe the breaking news banner. Ron Paul on the fall of the US dollar as reserve currency. That's frightening. It's always longer than some predictions. That's what I tell my wife. I told her it was long. That was my predictions. She married me, and then she found out the truth. Former Treasury official warns of complete economic implosion if dollar loses global reserve currency status. I'd say it'd be pretty bad, but at least you will have gold. But I need to bring you balance, like I always do. So we are going to take both sides of this coin. Economist Peter Schiff advised, get rid of all of it. Get out of it. Get out of your dollar now, and go directly into Bitcoin. Right, Peter? No, I've had Peter on a few times. We actually debated a little bit about the Bitcoin, also known as popcorn or whatever the hell it's doing. And as you know, guys, I love Bitcoin. I love gold. I love silver. I despise a debt-based system. I think this is evil. This is evil, okay? Especially taking sheets of paper and going, okay, this sheet of paper is money, and we'll even stamp "In God We Trust." Actually, since U.S. government, you bring up God actually detests. I don't know if we could use the word hates pride, detests these weights and measures, right? It's false. You should never be able to make debt money, but we did it. Congratulations. And you're like, wait, how is that even possible? You walk into a bank, I want a loan. Poof. You want $1 trillion? Poof. Out of thin air, even though they don't have any of it. You know, like take SVB. They had nothing. But you could walk in there and get anything you want. Just make sure you pay it back with interest. Using the dollar-denominated loans, which is trillion dollar global. But okay, real quick, because charts are what predict where the dollar is going, whether it is going up or down. This I put back. This was beginning of the end of 2021, beginning of 2022. I said, here we go. We go into this. It's a rising, broadening wedge, which let me, also pay attention to that blue line. That's support. It goes back many of years. But if I were to zoom in on this, if you want to know where I'll tell you where the dollar is going. Actually, it was going up. And I said, until it breaks this, and then you can run over to the stock called UUP that actually trades in that, and you put in what I would like to call a short. So there are many places to short. Definitely right there. On that line would be one of them. And that's, again, UUP. How do you do it? You come over here and you click the button. Then you click sell. You're like, but I don't have any. I know. Welcome to the banking system, where you get to sell something you don't even have. I know, right? Actually, link in the description. What do I use? This is TradingView that you see, the software, but TradeStation, okay, they'll give you $150. If you want it, I think you fund it with $500. You get $150, and then you click sell. Boop. Also, if you want to learn how to do this, even though it's this easy, people are like, I don't know. How do you do that? I just explained it. And then you click that little red button right there. And I'd be selling one. Okay. And as it goes down, my account goes up. But if for some reason this seems a little confusing to you, I would highly recommend you take advantage of my 60% off my bear market course. But start with my swing trading course first, because that one's even more basic than my bear market course. But you start there and then you move into the bear market. The orders, it's glitching on me. You gotta be quick when you make these trades. But where was I? You do the course and then you should, because your money is going the wrong way. Because if you're not moving money, you're losing money. And I know there's always, but bravo, time in the market is always, no, that's totally a fallacy. That is false. You already have what? How much? 2 years, NASDAQ, flat, zero, maybe negative. And if you want to get that 10% a year that they, whoever you're investing with promises you, if we just invest your money. No, you got 2 years of makeup to do. That would be 20% if it was the 10% that you wanted. NASDAQ, 2 years, buy and hodl, nothing. But if you trade it, right, up, short, make money down, it comes up, make money going up, right? If you do that, well, then you can fire your broker, whoever's with the name of broke. You probably shouldn't be going with that. But anywho, back to the good old Dixie. And I said, that's going to be a support line. Don't break it. We already broke it. And then there was you saw UUP, that one line. These are just all these lines you don't want to break. It broke it. So we're going to go lower. If you want to know where the exact price target is of this from here, I will draw it for you. I'll show you how you do it. You come over here, you click horizontal line. It should be somewhere right about there. Okay. So this is going to be your price target from that breakout. That is a rising broadening wedge. And I said, if you break it right here, you can make money going down all the way down to here. But we also broke this. This was support going back a very long time. So then you hit this branch down here. That's your next branch that you get to hit. And then your last one is right there. If it does not hold that one, well, then all these stories are going to come true. But now that you know the good and the bad, I brought on a guest, Steven Van Meter, to break down. Now, this is going to be a struggle because I know a lot of you guys come here with a very biased look, right? I have gold, dollar has to go down, which there's not that much of a correlation if you backtest it, you see. But anyways, but it's like everyone hates the dollar. I get it because then it makes your Bitcoin go up or your gold or your silver or whatever it is. And gold's going to be the reserve currency. All of that. I want to bring you balance. So let's run with Steven and I. All right, you guys. So I got Steven Van Meter. We go back quite a few years. I remember him under 4,000 subscribers, but we are basically going to play devil's advocate here because I am saying that the dollar is going to zero. Not only that, I have articles after articles that will show you that the dollar is going to zero. Actually, if you just go back in time, you see, okay, Steve's shaking his head over there. Steve, the dollar is going to zero.
Yeah, JB, someday that's going to happen, maybe in our lifetime. I mean, sure, will it be on a museum? And some people, your great grandkids will go there and say, hey, look, I remember, great grandpa talking about how they used to have this paper currency. You know what? That could happen. That it's so far out in the future. I mean, it's going to take a very long time for the dollar to get to a point where it is considered so worthless that people won't want to use it. We're nowhere even near close to that happening. So I'd love to see all these articles, throw them at me. Let's see what these experts have to say.
Well, come on, Steve. We got Ron Paul. I love Ron. Ron Paul on the fault. Now, you guys, Steve's going to explain why. All of this, not just because it's not, but Ron Paul on the fall of the US dollar as a reserve currency. It's always longer than some predictions. Go.
Yeah. So does he mean it's going to take longer for it to lose its reserve status? Is that what the article is suggesting? I just want to make sure I'm on this.
Let me get him on. Ron? Yeah, he's not picking up.
Okay, so sorry, but that was fantastic. We couldn't have scripted that better. I didn't even know you had a phone here. Okay, so let's talk about this.
It's wireless. It's wireless.
There's people watching this right now, JB, that have never seen a phone like that in their life. They've maybe seen it in movies. But let's talk about what's going on with Ron Paul and the reserve currency. So, there is this big belief, and it seems to be never-ending view. And anytime something bad about the dollar happens or it goes down or there's some sort of China is convinced like Brazil to trade in yuan. Look, all these things get to the same point, the same destination. That is this U.S. is going to lose its reserve status. And someday we will. There's just nothing in the immediate future. And the reason why is because it's still the main currency for global trade. So it doesn't matter. For example, let's say that you and I got together and did some business and you made some JB coins and we swapped those. instead of dollars. That doesn't impact the use of dollars by other people. It just means that you and I are doing some trading, JB, and we've decided that we can have our own internal currency. It could be anything. It could be, Red Bull, for example. We could trade Red Bull cans. It doesn't actually matter what it is. So the dollar as a reserve currency from global trade standpoint, gosh, it's not going away at all, because here's the key point. There's no alternative. There's none. And I know there's people watching, oh, well, Steve, there's Bitcoin and all these other coins and all the, SDRs and who knows what, and China's going to be. No, that's not going to happen. Because in order to be a global reserve currency, you have to be willing to let your currency get out in the world. China doesn't want it. They have closed doors. You think, if China opened the doors, right, to their currency and say, hey, you know what, if you live in China and want to get your yuan out, have a nice day, you do what you want to do, I can bet and guarantee you money would fly out of that country faster than you think. You can't have that happen. You need to have an open system. Their own people don't even want it there. So we look at the US, you have the largest consuming nation. We want to conduct trade in dollars. You want to do business with us, you have to do business with dollars. And everybody wants to do business in dollars because it's stable. That's another key standpoint. The dollar doesn't fluctuate much. You can look at a chart over time and say, look, yeah, it goes up and it goes down, but everything does. But it doesn't go up and down a whole lot. So the idea here that Ron Paul is, if he's suggesting that it's going away sooner than later, and I don't think he is, I think it takes a long time. Eventually it will, but we're not there yet.
Yeah, but what about this? I mean, this is a Treasury official. Come on, Steve.
Treasury is this Janet Yellen? Is this Janet Yellen? No, I have to know. Is Janet Yellen below there? If you scroll down, are we going to see Janet Yellen? Good.
No, it's Monica. So the former Treasury official warns of complete economic implosion if U.S. dollar loses global reserve currency status, which it will. Also, I got more. Hold on.
Well, okay, let's address that.
Yeah.
Great Britain used to be the global reserve currency.
Yep.
Did their currency implode because it's not the reserve? Nope, sure didn't. In fact, we can look throughout history and you don't see currencies implode because it's not using global trade. It just means, and is the pound sterling still using global trade? Yeah, sure, absolutely. It's just not the predominant choice. You people want the US dollar. We have, our great legal system. Again, we're also the largest consuming nation in the world. So that causes a lot of purchasing power. If ships rolled over here from China and said, look, we're only paying in yuan, or we only want to get paid in yuan, American businesses are going to be like, bye. Like, not going to do business with you. We don't want your currency. We don't want to swap it. So no, the notion that just because we will lose our reserve status someday doesn't mean our currency implodes.
All right, I got another one for you. Peter Schiff's chiming in on this one. Also, let's talk about the correlation, which really isn't, but I'll let you. We got economist. So Peter Schiff, the economist, advises get rid of your U.S. dollars now. So I guess what do we buy? I don't think Peter's going to tell us to buy Bitcoin, but I would say there is that looks like 10 million to me. Is that 10 million? 10 million Bitcoin price. All right. Yeah. So Peter does not, he hates Bitcoin, but
you know that Peter Schiff headline, get rid of your dollars now, sounds like one of my YouTube thumbnails, to be honest with you. That's great. But sometimes you have to look at, what the motivation is. What does Peter Schiff sell? He doesn't sell Bitcoin, he sells gold, sells precious metals. Get rid of your dollars. What is he saying? Come to my store and I will take your dollars. You notice he said get rid of your dollars. He didn't say he's getting rid of his dollars, because if you come and buy from him, well, your dollars become his dollars. Now, the idea that, so let's just pretend we're going to lose our reserve status and that something else is going to come along. Well, it can't be the Chinese yuan. Not only is their legal system is terrible, there's capital controls on their money. Nobody really wants it except their very direct trading partners, and even they don't want it that much. I assure you, Brazil at some point in the years to come will regret their decision to do it. People then think gold. Look, we were on a gold standard. It didn't work. And it's not because I know people are now shaking their head, getting ready to shut.
Here goes the dislikes.
Right, the dislikes are coming up.
Go over to his channel.
Yeah, go exactly. But gold didn't work because there was no recycling mechanism in gold. If you study the history of gold, there's nothing wrong with it in terms of what it does. is why does our system work the way it does right now is because when dollars leave the US, they go overseas, and we need a system for them to come back. And so how do we do that? We trade them back for our debt. So the US government issues debt, and in turn, we get those dollars back in our system, and they get to hold treasury securities. With gold, you don't have a recycling mechanism. So the problem is, in a gold-based system, you're highly incentivized to store and hoard as much gold as you can. And we can see that. People should go out and read some books on monetary policy, JB. They're very deep, they're very heavy, but what you'll find throughout history on the gold standard, when countries realize that gold is powerful, they start to hoard it. And then when you start looking at their neighboring countries and their economy starts to fall, the problem that policymakers start to come up with is, hey, they need gold, and we need to get it out of the hands that have it. And those who have it don't. There's no recycling mechanism. That's one of the really weird things about why this dollar system works, is because we can put it out to the world, they take it on exchange, and then they recycle it back to us through our debt markets. Gold doesn't have it. Bitcoin doesn't have it. Nothing else has it. That's the problem. We have no alternative. Not one person is out there meeting in the world at some high-level government place and say, hey, if the dollar goes away tomorrow, what are we going to do? If it did, we have nothing.
Okay, you did it. I think you answered all of my questions. That was good, dude. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, everyone on this channel is like, dislike. This will be probably one of my most disliked videos, but that is okay because we want to bring balance. Like, here, look over here and look over here. And now, struggle with what you're looking at. But
well, why do we have that? I think I'm glad you brought that up, because what you just explained, JB, and I know this is something you talk about in your courses and on your show when you're showing people how to trade, is it's bias. People have investment bias. So they go buy gold and think, okay, look, for every reason in the world, it has to go up. I'm going to go buy Bitcoin. For some reason, it has to go to 10 million. And all of some reason predicates on the dollar losing its reserve status. But yet, most of these people have never studied the history of monetary policy. They've never studied a gold-based system, and they don't really know how the system works. There's this just from strange belief that if the dollar goes away, these other asset classes will magically step back in and go up. And the reality is we're just not going back to a gold-based system. The reality is the government's kind of already said we're probably not going to use a third-party thing like Bitcoin. If we are going to have a digital currency, we're going to create it. We're going to control it. I mean, the notion that, if you think about it, why would the US government go out and make Dogecoin, the reserve currency? They have no control over it. And I know people are saying, but that's the whole point. No, the whole point is that the US government wants to control its currency. And if you don't think that's true, it is true. Look at the history. They're not going to release this thing out to someone else. And even if it did, okay, let's pretend for a moment that gold or Bitcoin or some other cryptocurrency is going to become the reserve currency. Well, what is the biggest thing that people do, JB, that have Bitcoin and other cryptos? What's the number one thing they do with it?
They hold it.
They hold it. Like, you can't do that. That's the first rule of it.
Yeah.
People often complain about, hey, the dollar's going down in value. That's the whole point. If the dollar steadily loses value over time, guess what you don't want to do? What you're not incentivized to do is hold it. Now, if we said, hey, the dollar's going to triple, quadruple, go up 10, 100-fold in the years to come, people would stop using it. They would stop transacting and start hoarding it. That is the problem with gold. That's the problem with Bitcoin. If you want these things to be used as a reserve currency and trade, then you've got to get them trading, and people don't want to.
That is a great point. And also, it's in our government's interest. And I think our government has a bigger military than your government. So just putting that out there, ladies and gentlemen. And they don't want to give up their printer. So it has a lot to do with control. And that is just the poop sandwich that we must eat. And everyone hates the dollar. I get it. And then, then we have to tell you the truth. But Steve, was there anything else that you wanted to do to close? Oh, by the way, go over to Steve, subscribe to his stupid channel so we can just blow past me. 200,000, and then he has to wear Mickey ear. No, wait, do I wear them? I don't. Maybe we'll both end up having to wear them at the park.
Yes, so we are in a race to 200,000. So by all means, come over and subscribe. And one of us will do something stupid, or probably both of us, depending on what the outcome is. But here's what I want to say, JB. I'm not defending the dollar here. I'm not saying, look, the system we have is the best, it's perfect, and everybody that uses it's a winner. What I'm trying to suggest is there really is no alternative right now. And people want to believe there is one. The problem is there actually really isn't. And there won't be one until things absolutely fail. And we can have another recession, we can have another financial crisis. That won't do it. It's going to take, maybe a succession of crises before the world wakes up and starts to realize we need to do something different. And it's going to take a long time for them to put something in place. So in the meantime, the dollar is king. But once you understand that, it says don't hold it, use it to invest. And that's what you come in, buddy.
Dude, no, you were signing off. I was all excited. Wait, you ended on your, you say, thanks for being, go ahead.
On behalf of JB and all his fans, I'm Steve Van Meter. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being fans. Bye now.